Yo, Ultimate MTG, what's up, man? Actually, just dealing with some kind of frustrations here. I don't know if you do live stuff, but I tested everything like when I posted the Reddit thing like a week ago, and everything worked on mobile. And then between then and now, when I started it up, apparently you need to have 1,000 subscribers in order to do live video from your mobile. So that was pretty disappointing. But you let me know if you can hear me okay. It's the only thing I can't test. Yeah, well, have you done it recently? Because that was the update today. Was you can't do live from mobile if you do 1,000, if you have 1,000 or less subs. So that was what I'm doing. So now I have my laptop precariously like triggered so it can webcam horribly from it's like FaceTime guy. So I don't know. We got a couple people here. You guys got any questions or anything? A couple things I have on the docket is I pulled out my must-have Monday for lands. I got a couple packs here if we want to do a couple first pack Fridays, or I could just, answer questions or just kind of check out what's in the cube. I sorted it all by color, so hopefully I can find all the guys right away. Oh, I wish it was a Lego tower, man. It's pinched between an old CD like zipper case and a box of like playing cards or board game cards or whatever that I have in there. That would be a good idea, Jerome. Yeah, I could set that up for next week for sure. I'm just kind of trying to test the waters to see what days are best for people. And then with this kind of thing, I'm gonna have to go out and get some kind of webcam or something because I can't do it like this. But we could talk through like a certain color. If you have like a color that you like, we can go through and check out what cards I have today, because I have made a few cuts recently. I just gotta bring my table over here. I got no room. I cut out a few cards, and I think I'm gonna cut more because my cube is too big. I have 700 around right now, and my sadness is I like seeing certain things I have in there. And with 700 cube, if you're doing sealed or anything like that, you're not going to see everything. So it kind of sucks. Sealed practices. Yeah, I could do that. I did that first one, which wasn't bad. I just think that going forward, I'm not going to do all 6 decks. I'd probably only do like 2 or 3 or 4, maybe at the most, just because the videos didn't really get that many views. I know I'm just starting up, but the first one has like 300 and the rest have like 10. So I don't know if that's I've hit that sweet spot or if I just haven't got my name out there right yet. I don't know. Just I can do anything, honestly. I have so much time on my hands that, basically I can do whatever. If anyone requests anything, it just gets done at this point because there's just so much time for me. Yeah. I mean, if you have the time to watch those, I get it. Like it was 6 videos at like 20 plus minutes a piece. Like that's 2 hours of time that if you don't want to devote to some random dude talking on YouTube, it is what it is. Pet cards. Oh yeah, dude. I have so many pet cards. Here, I'll just pull out a few, especially with red. I feel like red is like my biggest trigger because I played I got into Legacy recently, and I just don't have like a ton of money to just go buy like show and tell. So I was doing red deck wins, and a couple just because these are my Legacy ones. This Eidolon is like I love that card. I don't know why. It's just I didn't even play it, and I went to a tournament in Buffalo, and I didn't even get to play the card, but I just love that card. I switched over to Reanimator just because I was picking up cheap things on eBay, just making it good. I know Faithless Looting is good, but that is another one of my favorite cards that will never get taken out of the set. Back in the day, I played the Careful Study so much that when this came out, I just was like, that is the best card ever. Kiki Jiki, a lot of people don't play Combo or Storm in their decks. I love that card. Back in the day, I played the modern Glass Cannon-ish kind of thing with him and Emrakul when he first came out, and people just don't like the infinite combos, and for me, it's like, well, if you want to stop that, then I don't know why you would not have that in your deck. Wheel of Fortune is also really good. That a lot of people actually kind of hate this card a little bit. The draw 7s are just so fun. Like, I just love it. Let's see what else we got. Of course, Lightning Bolt and stuff like that just seem a little overpowered. This I don't see in a lot of lists. Burst Lightning. I was playing Standard in Zendikar big time because I was in college at the time. And that card, when that came out, was just like the coolest card ever. It's just shock, but it has that kicker, which is cool. So it was great in limited, which you played a ton of limited. Sneaky Jeeky, I love Sneaky Jeeky, man. I'm 100% right on board with you. Let's see what else we got here. Goblin Welder too is another one of my favorite cards, just because I love like neat little combos. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can do that or Tinker or anything like that. Like, oh, it makes you feel good because it's like, oh, I drafted a good deck. Like cards that just make you feel like you drafted a good deck and it was worthwhile. I mean, a lot of times you're playing Cube for free with friends or whatever. But if you like go somewhere and play with people, they want to feel good, and cards that make you feel powerful and feel good. It's the same kind of idea behind when you play video games. When you like, say you like hit a sword and you hit somebody, if it has like this big powerful movement or sound, it makes you feel powerful and makes you have fun. So the same kind of thing is if you have, you know, anything in your deck that's just like, boom, that felt great. I feel powerful. Like if you can through the breach and Emrakul, you feel powerful. I mean, unless it gets like super countered or something like that. So I don't know. Hey, what's up, Trevor? I don't know. I think they say Wheel of Fate is overly strong, or Wheel of Fortune is overly strong. A lot of people don't do powered cubes, probably because it's expensive. But I hear a lot of people from forums and stuff that just don't like running power, and that kind of brings a lot of hate to the powerful cards because a lot of people will do like block cubes or they'll do pauper cubes or something like that. And it might just be because if you can't afford it or find the proxies, it makes playing that hard. But they say that, you know, power ruins, red deck wins, which I don't think is true, because if your red deck wins strong enough, you're going to beat the Black Lotus every time. Yeah, my Earth Battlefield gets a lot of love too, because it's just a good card. There's so many ways to cheat that little artifact in, and he's like he's a body and makes some dudes. It's great. Favorite color, probably black. I've been playing a lot of black. Like I said, I've been playing Legacy lately, Reanimator. So I love Grizzlebrand and Reanimate and Buried Alive. I've always loved. But favorite color is definitely blue in the cube, just because it has so many of those cool little silly cards. Guild, I wasn't ever huge on the guilds. I did play Return to Ravnica when that came. There was a lot of Grand Prix that were limited. So I did a lot of Gruul and a lot of Azorius, but those would probably be the top. I don't know. We can check out some of the multicolored cards here. Let's see. Some of the multicolored cards at Goblin Game. You mean Guide? Goblin Guide's sweet. Love that card. That was it. I wish I had a playset of 4 for red deck wins, but I used Monastery Mentor instead. We'll just go through here and I'll talk about a couple of the cards. 1,000 Year Storm. I like having new cards in the cube. This one, I am just a fanboy of Storm. I know it's like, let's see. It's like a lot of people like Storm. A lot of people don't run it in their cubes. I see that a lot. It's like minus Storm or something like that. So I love that in there. Just because you can get some weird combos going off, especially with Black Lotus. If you can get that in turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, something like that. Goblin Game, I'm not really sure what that is. Ultimate, I don't know. If you can just like throw me like the mana cost or something, I'll let you know if it's even in the cube, but I honestly don't know. But again, 1,000 Year Storm, I like to feature a couple of the newer cards. Like I'm seeing all these Planeswalkers for Spark, and I can't wait to just throw them in there. Also have Rakdos Return, which is a really cheap mythic right now. When that came out, there was so much controversy about it because like discard hate is so huge in standard and limited, but I think it holds up well. It's kind of like a Mind Twist almost, which Mind Twist is absolutely broken, but I love that card too. This is also from my standard days when I first got into like competitive Magic. Bloodbraid Elf card is nuts. Love that card. When it was in standard, you could just go Bloodbraid Elf, Blightning, and just, I mean, you win the game like that kind of stuff. So also love Dak Faden. Again, that's my Storm coming through, but I love red blue in my cube. It's just strong, just good. Has a lot of like low costing spells that kind of ramp up quickly. Dak Faden can steal artifacts, which is sweet. So if you can steal Mox or something like that. I don't. Okay, so this is a definite like fanboy. You know, will never leave the cube, even though it kind of sucks. Is Mirari's Wake. Back in the day. Oh, Goblin Game. Oh, geez. Yeah, I have a Mind Twist in there. Let me just double check. I think I proxied that up not too long ago. Yeah, but Mind Twist for sure. Yeah, we got Mind Twist up in here. Mirari's Wake is silly. The reason why I love it so much is back in the day, I live in like a really rural area, so we don't have a ton of card shops, but there's this one card shop in a local farm town where it was mostly baseball cards, but the guy had Magic the Gathering cards, and I'd go there, and it was right when Mirrodin was out and Darksteel, and right around that time. And I opened a Mirari's Wake, and I thought it was like the most powerful card I've ever seen in the world. As far as proxy video, I don't know yet. I'm thinking about it. A lot of people want to see how I do it and yada yada yada. My only fear is I don't want to get in trouble from Wizards or Magic for putting out videos about how to make fake cards. I don't know what the legality is behind it. There are plenty of places where you can get proxies. There are plenty of ways to do it. My fear is because my proxies are pretty decent looking. If you look at the side, you can tell if you look at the sides of them, they're like white, but they're thick and they're pretty good coloring. This one looks like crap because the image I used for it is junk. But my fear is I don't want to have my channel shut down. Just because of some stupid video that I put up that says, here's how to make thousands of dollars of fake Magic cards. That's not going to fly well with me. It's going to make me pretty sad because I've worked pretty hard to get all this set up. But, you know, I don't know. If you want to email me, we can discuss further, I guess I'll say for now. But, yeah, I don't know. I know that a ton of people might do it. I'm just afraid because with my luck, I would be the one that got caught, and you'd see me in court, and they'd be like, "Why are you making fake Magic cards? All right, we're gonna send you to 10 years in jail for making fake Magic cards." Like that's just my luck, so I'm not sticking around to it. We can get down to this Must Have Monday though. We can talk about some of the good the cards that I like in the cube for lands. The first one's kind of like a weird pick. I'm not gonna do like the sack lands or the search lands or the pain lands. Like those are great in their own right. They're expensive and it sucks. I wish back in the day when I was playing Zendikar, I would have picked up like 1,000 Scalding Tarns because they were like $9. Like they were just stupid cheap. But the one that I'll say is these, I call them fast lands. I guess that's kind of like the whatever, but they're from Scars. They come into play tapped unless you control 2 or fewer lands, 2 or fewer other lands. I just like that kind of mechanic because I like playing fast decks. I like playing combo. If you can just throw them down, they make a really good land. And I didn't realize how expensive these old ones were because back in the day when I played standard with Scars in it, these were like $4. Like these were super, super, super cheap. And I wish I would have just bought 1,000,000 of them, again, like with Dark Depths and stuff like that. But then finally, after like years, they reprinted the next set of ones. I forget what set this is in. I don't remember. But these are decently cheap. So for just getting one of them, I mean, I think a couple of them are like $4, and then the rest are like under 10. So it's an easy way to get some powerful lands because these dual lands just feel good when they come in and you get them untapped because you have just power right there. So I'd definitely include these in your cube if possible. The next ones, these kind of get Kaladesh. Yeah, that's what it is. Thanks, Ultimate, man. You're like my right-hand man. Love it. We get into the next kind of like, I have like 2, so fast lands, and now it's pain lands, but not the traditional pain lands. So these are ones that do like something crazy, but you have to pay a life for it. So like Mana Confluence. This card I've never seen before because I stopped playing Magic for a while, but I love the card. Pretty strong, pretty good. Just didn't want you know, I don't know how much these cards cost. I haven't looked in a while, but that and like along the same lines, Ancient Tomb, which is I know like super expensive, but just 2 colorless lands for two life is awesome. And then I also like Horizon Canopy, which I know is like absurdly expensive even in like the reprint. Yeah, more obscure lands for sure, man. I definitely want to get in that. My last 3 picks are kind of a little weird, and then like City of Brass, which I love. Just one damage, add 1. Um, it's just a good card. I like that. And then here's the 3 that I think are like a little more obscure. You're probably not, but you know, I played during the reprint of Reflecting Pool, and now this mixed with the fast lands makes it like a perfect land because it's just like very good all the time, unless it's the only one in your hand, which sucks. So I really really like Reflecting Pool. I believe it was like Morningtide, Shadowmoor, right around there when that was reprinted with like Scarecrow King. Should have picked a million of those up when they were back then because they're awesome. But that's like a I don't see that a lot in a lot of lists. It might be. I mean, I look at lists that are like people that are trying to do it on a budget and stuff like that. All right, 4th one here is Urborg. This I played during Standard when this was out too, when it came out in like Planar Chaos. But it just makes like it's just very how do I want to say this reliable. Like when it comes into play, you just have swamps, and it's like if you're splashing Urborg for black, it makes it very good. The deck we played it in, it was during Cold Snap block, and we played this deck with Rime Feather Owl, and it was hilarious because the card sucked and it was super cheap. But we did a white, blue, black control, and basically there was no fetch lands or anything like that that were really crazy. We had like the filter lands, but we ran Urborg just to keep consistency with black. It's just I played during college and it was really really fun. And then after that we did Grand Prix runs, and me and the guy that we used to go with kind of had like a falling out. Not for anything crazy. It's just I mean spending all that money going to like North Carolina or like Ohio or whatever was fun, but just like I don't know, I wasn't having a lot of fun after that because it was like the same thing. Like it just became like a chore. Like get in the car, pack up, drive, have like White Castle, eat like garbage, sleep on someone's floor because we were like 10 people sharing a hotel room with like people I didn't know, and then going and playing like Standard, and then having like, oh, my deck's not good enough, got to buy more. So for me, it's like I wanted consistency, and you know I kind of had other life stuff going on, like getting a full-time job, like post college, you know, getting serious in a relationship, whatever the reasons were. I just didn't have my weekends as free anymore. Um, White Castle isn't garbage. White Castle is delicious. Eating like garbage though, because I can't even tell you one time during a weekend trip that I had water. So like I was just living off like Mountain Dew, and it was terrible for me. So that's what I mean, like eating like garbage, like eating out of gas stations. And like we went to Philadelphia, and we just had like QQ or whatever that gas station was. Like you're not eating healthy out of that. I don't know. But then getting back into it, I don't have a local place. So when I saw LSV drafting Cube, I'm like, that sounds awesome. And for me, it was like, well, I could proxy up cards. I could figure that out, and I just did it, and it was sweet. Yeah, water is important though. I don't know how old you are, but I'm like just over 30, and it sucks. You gotta have that water. We'll just finish it up with the last one, Shelldock Isle. Card's nuts. Again, I think part of it is my love is the other colored lands like this just aren't good enough to play with the Windswept, or not Windswept Heath. What is that? The white one where you have to have creatures attacking. The reason why I love these cards is because I played old school Dragonstorm back in the day, and that oh my god, that Spinerock Knoll was like the coolest card ever to me. So then when I saw Shelldock Isle, I'm like, oh, that card's not that good, but in Cube, it's nuts. So I don't know. That's why I love that card. But it's good to like cheat in. I don't even anything like a Time Walk or something just to have it so kind of comes out of nowhere. That's always fun. But those are the 5 types of lands. So we got fast lands, pain lands, Urborg, Reflecting Pool, and Shelldock Isle. Not bad. Good for any deck as long as you're not spending $8 million on them. I don't know. This is just me and you, Ultimate. We'll just hang out. You want to do a first pick Friday? Go through one of these. Your videos are pretty good on that because it's so different from mine with the unstable. Like I got to go through and look through the unstable card list so I can know what you're talking about, man. Here we go. Start here with the pack. Sour. Good card. Blue is pretty sweet in my cube. This has a lot of really strong things. So like this and like Kiki Jiki is fun. So if I knew Kiki Jiki was in another pack, this might be like a second pick or a third pick if I've already picked Kiki or something like that. So card's good. Not a first pick, but I like it. This might be a first pick. Simic Signet. Love that card. Green blue is pretty strong in the cube. I just like artifacts in general, and then making an artifact that can get you spot up on mana a little bit is always good. So that might be up there. This is a great card too. Metalworker. Just watched a couple of alpha investments with him trying to crack some metalworkers, but I like that. A lot of artifacts make that card very, very, very good. So I'm into it. I like it. Could be first. Braids. When I first got into Magic and didn't know how to play, I don't know, man. Signets with power can be a good complement. That's for sure. Because if you can Signet turn 1, that lets you do 5 on turn 2. So they work really well together. Because you can go Mox land, Signet. Next turn you have Signet for 2 land. I guess you're on 4. You can be on 4 turn 2, which is a big speed up. So when roughly with mine, you're probably going to get 1, maybe 2 pieces of power. So if you're at 1 and you get a couple Signets, it could be really good. But back in the day when I was playing for the first time, I'd go to the mall and I had no idea what I was doing, and I got wrecked playing Odyssey because people just had nuts cards. Odyssey and Judgment right around the same time, and Braids was good back then. But she might be one that I cut. I'm not super in love with her, but she's good. Never Return. I kind of like these dual cards, especially when I wish they'd print them both upwards, so you don't look like an idiot trying to see what you're doing. But Destroy Target Creature or Planeswalker is good, especially with Spark coming out. I think this card's gonna be nuts. That's just a good card, but not first pick worthy. This might be first pick worthy. We got Metalworker and Tolarian Academy. That's kind of crazy, man. That's like the dream right there. I don't know. I don't know exactly what I would pick. I'd probably see what's in the pack first and see if there's more blue. I'd probably go with Tolarian Academy. If there's more, don't first pick removal. Yeah, for sure, man. Unless you have nothing in the pack, I might pick like a white removal. But other than that, never first pick removal. You're right. Tolarian, I would go with that if it was. There was blue in the pack, and I had a good chance of getting blue coming around. Otherwise, I'd probably go with Metalworker if I knew I was going to go colorless, but that's definitely up there. Collective Defiance. I like these cards to throw in. I think I run all the colors of them. I'm not... well, I know neither of them would wheel, but I'm just talking about, like, in my pack, if I saw that there was, like, Emrakul, Blightsteel Colossus... and a Metalworker, I'm going Metalworker. But if it was like Consecrated Sphinx, Compulsive Research, Sour, and Tolarian, I'm going Tolarian, Collective Defiance, I just like this because you can escalate it. I like Collective Brutality a little more because that's what I run in my Black Legacy deck, and I'm just used to it. But this is a fine card, not that bad. Garrick Apex, he might actually get switched out soon. He's just really expensive. And I think that if you cheat him out, he just makes anyone playing Planeswalkers not fun. Because it's just cheat out a 7-drop, kill a Planeswalker, kill a Planeswalker, kill a Planeswalker. It's just not a fun card to interact with. And especially if Spark's going to have uncommon Planeswalkers, they're going to be more prevalent in decks, and it just makes them not fun. Yeah, and he's pretty good. I haven't got to play him yet, but 4 is always good. So I don't know. He's expensive too, which I don't love. Flame Tongue Kavu, that's a real kickback. He was in like all the Worlds decks back in the day. I used to have all the pre-purchased Worlds decks that they put out just to try them. And I remember watching, I don't know how old you are, man, but I used to watch Magic the Gathering on ESPN. Like they used to broadcast the Worlds on ESPN, and it was bonkers. And I would see this card all the time because it's cool. He's a good card, man. Good call, good call. I like that he got a nice reprint with nice new art. Just a straight up good card. I probably wouldn't play him in red deck wins, but like more mid range, I would. This is a really good card too, Coalition Relic. I hate this art. For the longest time, I thought it was like a Stingray or something stupid, and then I saw the new reprint art, and it looks a lot better. But the card's really good. If you can cheat it out turn 2, you're ramped up so quick you can pretty much play whatever you want. One of the better. It's basically in that same tier of like Signets. They're just good. Just good card. That might be in there. Linvala, okay card. The Angels in this cube are just really underpowered. So I don't know, man. A lot of people give me the only really negative. I have 2 negative criticisms that I get. One is that I just say that cards are bad, and it's because you got to call it how you see it, man. Cards are bad. There are bad cards in the cube, and everyone's like, "Well, it's your cube. Don't play bad cards." But that's not how it goes, man. You have to have the bad cards in there. If I just played like 300 Lotuses, it'd be boring. But I just, cards like this are bad until they're in the right deck, then they're great. You know what I mean? And this kind of, you got to have those archetypes, because if I just eliminated every bad white card out of my cube, there would be like Path Exile, Condemn, Plowshares, and that's it. And there's no sense of having just that in the cube. But flying 4-drop is pretty good and limited. So yeah, 20 Lotuses, 40 Bolts. What are you playing? Regular, like Alpha decks? Shackles is great. You play as much awesome lands there are in my deck. You do have in my cube, there are the option to just play straight basics, a lot of them, and that makes Shackles really good. So I like Shackles a lot. Compared to everything else in the deck, though, there is no way we don't go artifacts. So this is definitely in there. Dire Fleet kind of looks a little lackluster compared to everything else in there. Good for red deck wins, but there isn't a lot of red in this pack. Just Kavu and Collective Defiance, so I don't think we're going to go red. So that's pretty much you just pass that right by. Monastery Mentor, which is super sick. That's a win condition on its own. Again, just not stacking up to how good the artifacts are in this deck, so that's not there. And then I love this card, Night's Whisper. Draw 2 cards, lose 2 life. That fits in a lot of decks, just for a black. You can splash black really easily, but that might be a later pickup, because even in artifacts you could play that. So I think if it had to come down to it, it's between Metalworker and Academy by far. Looking in the deck we have, or in the pack, chances are we're probably going to wheel at least 1 artifact, and that makes us pick Metalworker for sure. I also saw you picked up your Cubamajigs too, Ultimate. How are those working out? They're really annoying to peel off all of those all those layers, but it's worth it in the end, man. They look so good. I don't know where I put the rest of mine. I'm kind of annoyed. I was trying to get my thing set up, and I don't know where I put my white box of Cubamajigs and other spare cards, and I'm a little annoyed and concerned about it because my room is a mess. I don't know where they are. But yeah, they're kind of expensive though. The shipping on those boys it was like $15, which I was pretty sad about. I actually emailed them and was like, is there any way to get cheaper shipping? And they're like, no. I think they come from like Canada or something. But yeah, it's just the feel of them. Like when you have a pack and you're actually opening something, it feels a lot better than just like taking them out of like a plastic bag or just getting handed 15 cards. Yeah, they're Canadian. But yeah, so I don't know. Man. Where are you? I don't know where you live. Do you live in the United States? You have to. Yeah, I sent you a package. Where I can't remember where it was. Did you get that, by the way, too? It should be there by now. Yeah. Perfect. Hope they look good enough. Those are the old ones that I used to use in my cube before I picked out. Before I got the print-ups of the new art from MTG Go. Let me see those. Show you. Lands. I'm not even looking in the right spot. Come on. Whatever else. See, there we go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I switched them out. I got these printed up, which I like these a lot better. I wish they would do like box toppers of this art, or just put them in a set as like mythics, because they need to get reprinted so bad. There's so many legacy decks that I want to play. Yeah, these are what they use in MTG Go, and I really want to play them in Legacy, but I cannot justify spending tons of money on them. I actually bought a Scrubland off eBay for $80, and it came and it was a proxy, and I was just like, super annoyed. But I got my money back, which is fine. But yeah, dude, Reserve sucks. It's really bad. There's so many on there, but yeah, these look really good. I'm really impressed with these. The art's good. I like the old art. Like my one buddy plays Storm in Legacy, and he has the Underground Seas, and they look really good. Like they could update those art pretty easily, but they're just like $300, which is nuts because you need like 3 of them or 2 or 3 of them. It's just that's crazy. But that's how Magic is, man. I don't know. What else we got here today? I don't know. Just kind of hanging out. I gotta update my Cube tutor list, which is super annoying. But yeah, dude, the MTGO art is super sick. They especially, I even like, I know that people don't like seeing this, but the Moxes even look really good on MTGO, MTGO, whatever you want to call it. The art on those is sweet. Like the Lion's Eye Diamond, and even I prefer the Lotus. I even switched out my Lotus printout because I just like the art so much better. It's like my other playmat, but like the Ruby, like that's so much sicker than the old one. I mean, unless you played back then and like saw those Moxes how they're supposed to be. Yeah, super iconic. And like that is just bonkers. And I had to get that playmat just because I loved it so much. The only one I don't have is the Mox Diamond. I like that. I just didn't print it up. But like I like Lion's Eye Diamond, my buddy plays. His look like junk compared to that. Like it looks bad. Like it does not look pleasing. Like she's standing there with a lion and a diamond, which makes absolutely zero sense. I don't know what else. I like the other Chromox too. I have the old school one though. And oh, dude, this you gotta have this. Boom, Mana Crypt, gotta do it. Dredge, there is some dredge in here. I wouldn't say it's full. Like I don't have any of the old school dredge. Like I don't have the land. I don't have the that big green guy. I forget what his name is. Grave Troll, I think it is. I don't have him, but I have that Gulamog Angler, which is sweet. What's up, Jesse? Yeah, dude, I wish I could do full art. I don't have the skills to like Photoshop or anything like that. Yeah, the crypt is $200, man, and then unless you make your own. So if I do another print run, I'll throw one in for you. But yeah, you can dredge. I have the angler. I have like there's like another. Her angler's not dredge. That's delve or something. No, I don't have dredge in here. I could, but I just don't. I don't know. I just that's one of the things like Legacy Dredge was huge for a while, and I just didn't get into it. But I could. I mean, that's the nice thing is that if you just have those cards together, you can just throw them in. Delve is good. Well, you can tell a lot of my proxies is because that little, I didn't even realize I started doing this, but that little boy on the bottom there that's supposed to be holographic. That's it, really. Which is a smart choice by them because there's a lot of Chinese fakes out there. Dig Through Time, yeah, dude, that's a must-have for blue. Love Dig Through Time like a lot. That's a high pick on my radar just because the card's so good. I love blue. We could take a quick look at blue real quick. Just because there's a lot of cards to like chit chat about that. I think everything in my deck's pretty standard. My list is if you go to any of my other videos that has a link to my Cube Tutor that has the cards in it, but it is vintage powered. So I have, vintage powered. So I have a lot of the little stuff in there. Brain Freeze is a must include. If you don't do that, you're just hating. Card's great. Just being able to mill in limited is so huge. Also, this card, if you don't play Force Spike, you're crazy. That and Mana Tithe have to be in there. I actually played against a guy in Legacy with a Time Spiral deck, and he had the whole thing in like Ultimate Guards, and he was shuffling them like crazy, and it was just like the most unfun to play against ever. But you know, we were there. Talking a lot about Kiki Jiki. Got to run Pestamite, man. Great card. Impulse is awesome too, and I also really like Brain Freeze is one of the only Storm cards I like. Yeah. I don't know, man. Have you seen Mind's Desire? Because that card, I had never seen that card before, and let me tell you, that got me going. What's up, Kenny? Mono Black Cube archetypes. Yes. Mono Black. There's a couple. Here's the dig through time. Let me get through these blue guys real quick, and I'll touch on that. But Mind's Desire, man, that card's bonkers. Because if you can get that even for 2 or 3, man, you got some good times going. All right, let's see what we got for black. We were just showing off blue. Me just being blue nerd. Mystical Tutor too. Keep that in there. As far as my black, we got a couple guys in here. So one is a 1-card thing. I know you want to go no power, but Mind's Twist. There you go. That'll get you going. I do mono black, just good value guys like tempo. Or not tempo, aggro. So you can go Blood Soak Champion. There is a lot of good denial cards. Let me see. Let me pick out a few. And Reanimator, you've got to do both of those. That Mind Twist is ugly. It's the old school trash, but what are you going to do? Oh, God, this is an ugly card, too. I had to pick up a couple real cards. This thing is disgusting. It was like 25 cents. I hate foils, and this one's beat. I do love Old Border, too. Quite a bit. Here we go. For some mono black, go with Entomb. The reprint has made that card like $5 on eBay. If you're going unpowered, throw Entomb in there. Throw Buried Alive in there. It opens up a lot, especially with Signets. Going Buried Alive or Entomb into like a Shallow Grave or Animate Dead. You can, those cards right there. Reanimate cost right now is so cheap. You can get an actual Reanimate for like $8. Entomb is like $5. I do, my Reanimator deck's stupid for Legacy. I have that. There's I forget what it is. It's a Rakdos card, a new one, and at end of turn, both players discard their hand. So turn 1, you're going like Dark Ritual, Entomb, Reanimate, and you're like, okay, we have to both discard our cards. You just win. Like, I know turn 1 wins aren't always the funnest, but gotta go with it, man. But yeah, throw some Reanimate in there. Get the Hate in there. I know that it sucks paying expensive for like Inquisition, or like get Duress up in there, because those fit in a lot of decks just to be awesome. Get, what else we got in here? I mean, you want to talk about black? I'm just kidding. Tendrils of Agony Storm, got to get that in there, man. You can pick up Grave Titans pretty cheap. Even Grizzlebrands are pretty cheap now. Throw on this guy. We were just talking about Delve, but throw in some Tombstalker action. Just because if you can get, you know, a 5/5 flying out with like, you could run like, what's that card? It's like 1 blue mana instant, put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard, draw a card. That makes it fun. Yeah, Disruption's huge. I mean, this is sitting right on top of my next pile. If you want to talk about Disruption, that's big. Thoughtseizes are pretty cheap too. Thought Scour, that's the card. There we go. I got my Human Gatherer over here, Ultimate. Thoughtseize is pretty cheap. Unburial Rites, that's sweet. Get that in there. That card's super cheap, and it's just fun. Also, if you're looking for unpowered, cheap, something to throw in your 550, throw in like Chainer's Edict or Diabolic. What is that? Sacrifice. Anything that makes your opponents just have the choice to sacrifice, do that. Makes it good. Just show this off a little bit. We're talking about like MTGO. Yeah, Edict. That's what it is. Get those in there. Throw a Hymn to Turok in there. Throw Dark Ritual in there, man. Just get it all in there. Get some zombies in there. Yeah, Kite Sail and Brain Magnet, super good. And where's my other boy? This is right here. Can't forget about this bro. Because I played during Torment. I opened packs of that, and that card was nuts. Yeah, New Edict is good. I don't know. And like this is what I talked about the other day in a couple of my other videos. If you haven't caught them, is that people are like, well, if you have power in your cube, it makes it less fun. And it's like, no, it doesn't, because like even if you cheat out, say you cheat out a Grave Titan, all you have to do is draft one of these, and now they just wasted resources to get a Grave Titan in, and you're all set. You know what I mean? Like people only focus on the big bad nasty cards like Emrakul, but there's so many ways to like just get him out of there, like Relic of Progenitus. Yeah, it is a matter of preferences. It's just about what you grew up with and what you want to play with. Because for me, it's like I'm not going to get to draft a super ton, but when I do, I want to make sure it's the most epic thing ever. I want to see that kid freaking out because he just got an Emrakul in turn 1. Crater Maker, yeah, he's good too. I don't know. Just have fun with it, man. That's what it all comes down to. I feel like sometimes one thing I'll say is I've had this cube built for a while, and it never, ever, ever got played. So I just sat down and was like, you know what? We're gonna use these. We're gonna do some cube videos. I want to play it. I want to get it out there. I want to do it, because if I sit around tweaking my list every day, it's never gonna get used, and it's just a waste of time. So I want to get it played. I know that we have the big Magic Fest coming to Niagara Falls, so I got to throw it out there on Reddit about, hey man, if you're gonna be at that Niagara Falls Magic Fest, we're sitting down, we're playing this cube. You want to come and meet me and play? We're doing it. Like, you want to hang around and do some Mana Crypt drafting, some Black Lotus? Sit down and play with me, man. Let's do it. You want a grid draft? You want to just have fun? Check it out. You want to touch on my cool cards? Come, it's find me. I will be there. What else we got? All right, here's what we're gonna do. We'll throw down. I got another deck here. We'll just splay it out right here for you two, and you tell me what you're picking here. Oh, here we go. We're talking about this Reanimator. Let me make sure this is all in frame. Reanimator, Remand, Frantic Search. Frantic Search is sweet. I like those, like untap your lands. Shrine, Burning Rage. Hopefully I can fit 5 across here. Dauntless Bodyguard. Glorybringer, Gnarled, just another 2/1 body. Gideon of the Trials, which is sweet. Grim Lavamancer, Daze. Here is like one of my favorite blue cards. Mystic Confluence. And I can't see these top ones, but Mystic Confluence, Grim Lavamancer, History, Elder, Raphaelos, and Mirren Crusader. What are you picking, man? Yeah, dude, 8 people is a tough pod to get. I'll never be able to get that, honestly. But that's why grid drafting's there. That's why Sealed's there. All that sweet stuff. See a lot of Reanimate. Mystic Confluence, that's my boy right there. Raphaelos is a great choice. Green is strong, that's for sure. Raphaelos is a good choice. Mystic Confluence is good there. A nod has to go to gotta go to Gideon though, man. Grim Lavamancer too. Like I said, red deck wins probably 70, if not higher, percent of every game, because no one ever picks it because it's boring, man. It's a boring deck to play because you're just like, okay, damage, I win. But don't count it out, man, because Glorybringer is the top tier that you want. Flying Haste, deal damage, it's sweet. And with as much as on here, the chances that you're going to wheel Burning Rage or Grim Lavamancer is pretty high. The white is not bad either. I mean, that's me saying that, so you know it's okay. History is super good, especially in a pack with no power. Mirren Crusader is pretty good too because it's got protection from black and green, which is huge. Frantic Search is great for Storm. Because you have High Tide, you have Mana Flare, you have Heartbeat, so you can spend 3, draw 2, discard a couple lands, Reanimate is also a really good one in there because you can play that with, say, Lotus, Frantic Search, untap your 1 land, you have the chance to play Reanimate Dead or something like that. Yeah, I mean, and honestly, Jesse, he probably did pretty decently. Yeah, Storm, I'm a huge Storm fanboy. Back in the day, I played Dragon Storm, so it's like ingrained in me. But yeah, picking mono red, I mean, in this, especially in a pack like this, you can pick red, but all of a sudden, if there's this in here though, and you pick red, you're probably playing wrong. But honestly, you could still probably win, because I mean, red has Ancient Grudge and a lot of artifact hate. You might be able to pull it out. Not terrible. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna go up against opposition lock and stuff like that too. You're gonna play against those, and red. That's you're the 30% that red loses against, and that's fine. But it is what it is. But not bad. Yeah, for this pack, I think it's it's between Reanimate, Mystic, Raphalos, and probably Glorybringer if we're gonna crack down to 4. I'm gonna just splay them out. But yeah, you're not wrong picking any of these cards. Maybe a little wrong picking Mystic Confluence, but free artifact ramp. Yeah, I can feel you there. You still would run like a Mox Ruby in red. You would still probably even run Black Lotus in fast red. If you can get out 3/2/1s on turn 1, you're ready to go. Oh yeah, I don't know. I haven't played this new Gideon, but I like him. There's just something about him. As long as you control a Gideon, you can't lose the game. For me, it's like, so say you get this out on turn 1, or turn 2, prevent all damage the target permanent would deal. Now, this Gideon may be the worst of all the Gideons, but he's the best control one. Like, he's pretty good. Like, he has a lot of 0 abilities, and he becomes a 4/4 for blocking kind of thing. Yeah, not Signets. Ancient Tomb, Mana Crypt, yeah, for sure. And Wasteland, Rashaden Port, or whatever it is, the port, I'd play that. But yeah, like this Gideon, if you can cheat him out, like imagine you're going up against a guy, you're just sitting there, and his first turn is Black Lotus, and he sacks it and plays Gideon in the trials and just says, and I mean, he does like a 0 ability, gets like you can't lose the game, and then on your turn you play like a 2/1, and you just make it so his 2/1 can't do it, and you just do it and do it. Like, it's a lockdown card. It's pretty good. Yeah, Titans are great with Reanimate. They're just bonkers. Especially Grave, Primeval. They're all fantastic. So I agree with you there, Ultimate, for sure. Yeah, I mean, that pack was pretty good. I like to do packs that don't have the power in it, because the first pick is always power. But to call these first pick Fridays interesting, I just don't shuffle those in just to see what I get, just to practice a little bit. Eldrazi Titans, yeah, dude. Bonkers cards. Love. I still remember playing like Glass Cannon, Emrakul. So much fun. Just a great time. Check out. We haven't checked out green. We can throw out some of these. Yeah, right here. Ran that boy. Oh, don't first pick Titans. That's for sure. First pick an Emrakul if you're going to first pick an Emrakul, but don't first pick a Grave Titan or a Primeval Titan. That seems like a bad idea. But the chances that you'll see one is pretty high. But yeah, so a couple cards here. Fauna Shaman, bonkers card. Discard a creature card and then look for a creature card. Makes it a tutor, essentially. Green Sun Zenith, which is sweet. With all the ramp, you can get that out pretty good. I'm a big fan of like tutors in general. So Worldly Tutor, even though it's like not the greatest tutor, it's still very good because it's cheap. Get the Mana Dorks out there. Acidic Slime. This card is sweet. Very. It's his ability. That's what it comes down to. Is if you cheat this out quick, you're just got a body and you're blowing up lands. Like you're in a good spot. Lotus Cobra. I played during World Wake, and this card wasn't that good back then, and I still think it's not that great. But with all the land kind of manipulation and fun stuff like that, I love it. See you, Jesse. Thanks for stopping by, man. Appreciate it. What else we got here? This card's bonkers. Necrotal with all the dual lands in this, man. Sweet. Did a War Cube preview. Yeah, I really can't wait. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up some War boosters, and we're going to crack them, and we are going to talk about which cards are going in the cube for sure, Kenny. That will be coming up. I got a couple other things on my plate. I'm trying to set up so I can play like a streamed MTG arena. So I'm looking into doing that. I'm looking into getting MTGO going so I can stream that as well. War Pick Wednesday, that's a great idea. But yeah, I'm gonna get some packs going for sure. I'm probably gonna do a pre-release, like a Midnight Boy or the Sunday Boy. The place that's the closest place to my house, they're doing a midnight release, but it's the day before I go see Hamilton, so I don't know. My wife's gonna be down for that, but we're going to have some War going for sure, because I will probably play cards that are different than a lot of other people will, because I'm not afraid to test it. So I'll throw it in and do some sealed or mock drafts and see how it goes. But Plow Under is a great card if you can get it cheated out there pretty quick. Mooly Dooley, gotta have her in your deck. I don't know what else we got here. Search for Tomorrow is good. Channel. Oh my god, I couldn't believe how cheap this card was. I made a proxy, and it looked like absolute garbage, and then I happened to see it on eBay for $1. So I was like, all right, we're picking that up. Mythic for $1, and the card's nuts. Like, yep. Crater Hoove, you got to have him up in there too. Great card. Expensive card too. Let's see. Tooth and Nail. I played when this card came out, and it wasn't very hot. It was in some decks, but with the amount of cards that you can pick for creature cards, like they're good. It's a good card. Probably the ugliest card in my cube. Fast Bond, printed like junk, looking like junk. But Fast Bond's fun. See Tarmogoyf in here. I remember back in the day when those were 200 a pop easily, when Modern Masters first came out, and everyone was going nuts over the new Tarmogoyf art. But I love this border. Like, that border is so Future Sight awesome. They knew what they were doing, and I'm sad that they're not continuing on with that. I guess I do have a little dredge in here. I got Life from the Loam in there. I don't know if that's more of like a lands thing, but I know they play that in lands for Legacy, and the card's pretty good. But I think that's like the only dredge up in the cube, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I try to get as many archetypes in here that I can, so it's kind of like a melting pot of everything, like a MTG goulash, if you will. You can pretty much play whatever you want and try to force whatever you want. It's not going to be great, but not terrible. All right, that's pretty much for green. I'm not a huge green guy. I used to be all that Mo Green Wonder Kid back in the day, playing like Thorn Elementals and Rocks, trying to make it big. But back in middle school or high school, you made bad choices. So I guess we'll take a look at white. I've been a big white hater. No, I would say Gold Jar. Yeah, that is the way that I have it. Let's pull up my multicolored here. So with Goljari, it is just removal pretty much. A lot of people will say don't run a ton of crazy. It's not exciting at all, and you're 100% right, because when I see Maelstrom Pulse, I'm not picking it. When I see, let's see what else we got. I'll just pull out everything. Assassin's Trophy. Like, these are exactly like you said, all removal cards. And that's fine, because I think that the reason why they do it is to have the options, because the best removal is either white black, and if you're playing green and you don't pick that black removal, you're kind of screwed. But it is very unexciting. I will agree with you there. But you have to think that, you know, if right here I can pull out all of my Golgari cards. I'll just pull them all right out here for you. Give me 2 seconds. Leovold, consider that. That's probably the most exciting one in there. But so yeah, so we have this. It is Abrupt Decay, and then the only card that really isn't removal is her, which I've never played her, but yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. That's for sure. Which I agree. But yeah, Golgari is probably the least exciting. But honestly, if you go through and look at Golgari, I wouldn't say there's anything hugely awesome. Like, would you run Putrid Imp in a cube? I don't think so, because there's just better cards, and I think the reason why they have to do it this way is because of the lands. Like, if you're powered and you're going turn 1 Forest, turn 2 Overgrown Tomb, and dropping a Putrid Imp, like, that doesn't feel great. It just doesn't feel good. It's okay, but like, I just think that a lot of the Golgari cards that we know and love just are not good enough to be ran. So they go with, you know, these are like staples in every modern legacy old decks. Like, these are the only good Golgari cards, which is fine. I mean, you can't get defensive about it and get mad about it, because it's just, I just don't think the other cards are good enough to be there. See what we got in white. So let's talk about cards that I want to cut. I think that is a very interesting topic that a lot of people ask about. So cards that I want to cut. This card right here. I know this isn't a mono white card, but Soulfire Grandmaster. I think it's too slow. I think the ability is good, but it's expensive. The lifelink is fine, but I don't love it. I'm just, every time I see it, I don't pick it, and I'm not happy about it. Let's see. Angel of Intervention. I'm not a huge Angel guy. But Flying Vigilance Lifelink is fun, but it's a 2/1 Honor the Pure, or you know what I mean? It's just not, I don't know. It's not that great. Let's see what else we got in here. This card is questionable. I know that it's good for White Weenie. I know that it has protection for multicolored, but Soldier of the Pantheon is on the cutting list for sure. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, there's some heavy hitters in here. Stormforged Mystic, Mother of Ruins, Iona. Those are all great cards. Even this card. This card is exactly what I want for my white. 2-drop flying and return a permanent. Like, okay. Like, that sounds fine. If you got, like, someone that comes in and makes little dudes, or, like, I don't know, return a land tax to your hand or something. Sure. I don't know. Enlightened Tutor, that card is amazing. I used to have the OG one back in the day, and I had no idea why, like, I had it. I got it from, like, $1 rare box, and I wish I would have held on to it, but Terminus, that card is questionable, but I love it. Oh, God, right here. Oh, this is the epitome of cards that probably need to be cut from a cube. Spectral Possession. I used to play that back in the day in Kithkin, but, like, when you look at that card, and you look at even, I have 5 cards in my hand right here, the last 5 from white. You look at Spectral Possession versus Day of Judgment, Condemn, Porcelain Legionnaire, Lingering Souls, and Baneslayer Angel. Like, this card gets thrown right in the trash. Goodbye. But that's just how I feel about it. And Baneslayer Angel can go too. I'm not a huge fan of that, but a lot of people have given me a little slack about hating on white so much, but I just don't think overall, I mean, that's the weakest in a lot of cubes. If you just throw together all the best white cards, it's not going to go over well. Let's see. How do you guys feel about, this is a kind of like an almost controversial card, Memory Jar. It's probably one of the worst draw 7s, but I mean, would you play this in your cube if you had a powered? Yeah, sweet. Storm. Yep. See, that's why it's in there. But just curious. A lot of people don't like it. How about this? I only have this in here because I love Dragonstorm back in the day. But how do you feel about Lotus Bloom? I really don't have anything that takes counters off of suspended cards. It is great. Is it too slow though? Ultimate man, you got to think about that. 3 turns if it's in your opening hand. I don't know. That's probably one of the ones. How many slots do I use to support Storm? I wouldn't say that any. There are only 2 cards in here that are Storm 100%, and that's Brain Freeze and Tendrils of Agony. If you look at me, if you look at me drafting Storm, it's mostly just good blue spells. And my Storm counter that I'm going for isn't 10. It's like 4 or 5, really. Mind's Desire is in there, but I wouldn't say that's specifically Storm centrated. Like, you could run Mind's Desire in almost any deck, because if you just play something and then Mind's Desire for 2, not horrible. It'll miss sometimes, but I wouldn't say that it's not playable in other decks. In fact, I'd probably try and force it. Like, Mana Vault. That's a good one, too. Even that in Storm. I mean, I wouldn't say Mana Vault is a Storm card, but for 1 mana, you throw it in, play something else. That could be a Storm card right there. And I wouldn't say that's specifically Storm. Let's see, what else? I have a couple rituals, but I would say that, again, you could use those in ramp. Like, for example, if you want to ramp out Blightsteel Colossus, you run some rituals. Crypt is way better. Pentad Prism, though, like, that's a Storm card, but not a Storm card. Pay 2 just to get the Storm counter up, sure. I mean, I think a lot of the ways that people think is like, oh, if I'm doing mono red, I got to throw in the best 1-2 drops. Well, that's not always true. You can have 3 drops that are okay too, but you got to have every card has to fit in a couple of different decks, I think, because if you have too many, this card is only for Storm, and you have to like have that card in there. People don't pick it because, I mean, the people that I play with aren't the best Magic players, so their deck building's pretty terrible. So they just go with mono red or mono green or little stuff like that just to get it going. Funny story about Ugin. I was up towards Buffalo not yesterday, it was a couple weeks ago, and they had a pack of Magic cards at Savers, which is a thrift store, for $3. Pulled that off the shelf, cracked it open. Ugin was in there. Took it down to the store, sold it for like $60 easily. It was so sweet. It was a good day, and it had the windswept teeth in it too that I gave away a couple weeks ago. You guys are all in for the Polluted Delta, right? Over on Reddit. I don't know if you guys are Reddit guys, but if you go over there and just comment on it, you have a chance to win a Polluted Delta right now when I reach 125 subscribers, I think it's at. Make sure you hit that, because I want it to go to someone that's good, that like participates, you know. So I would love for you guys to enjoy it. And you can ask Ultimate, man. I take care of my guys that support me. Let's see what else we got. Emrakul. Oh, card's so good. Back in the day, they had all those sweet promos for it. Yeah, right? Polluted Delta's fantastic. I almost want to keep it for myself, but that was an eBay score. But we're going to do a ton of giveaways. I think that's it. Like, realistically, my success in getting exposure is by giving stuff away, so I don't mind giving a few cards away. But we can take a peek, and let's see. Dude, Gemstone Mine, too. I don't know what those are running, but you got to have that in your cube, too. Check that card out, because it's goofy. Especially with Proliferate. Gemstone Mine's going to come back, man. That's going to be a card. see what else we got. I don't know. This is an ugly proxy right here. Arid Mesa. I don't know when I made that one, but that one's one I had chilling around. Doesn't look quite as good as the other ones. Blue to Delta. I'm giving away the new cons one. I picked that up off eBay pretty cheaply, so that's what we'd be giving away. So jump over there and just comment so you can pick it up. But I don't know. Coming to the end here, I think. Really appreciate you guys stopping by. That's for sure. Just remember to subscribe if you're not. I'm gonna try and do probably these live guys every couple of times. Yeah, all the cards that I give away are real on Reddit because I know that people don't want proxies unless you want proxies. So the cards that I give away, I buy from eBay or a local store and then send those out. Because like, honestly, I mean, if we look at it, it's like, I'm giving away like a $15, $20 card, but like, I think it's worth it. I know you want the proxies, man. I hooked you up. If you ever need anything, you let me know. Just hit me with an email, man. I got you. Don't worry. But yeah, I don't want to mess with people, and I definitely don't want to get the rep of like giving away proxies too hard. But you know, like I am a fan of proxies because I mean this cube is bonkers amount of money, and I think that if the choice is between spending a ton of money on Magic or spending not a lot of money on Magic, it's whatever makes you feel happy. Like for me, I can't buy a powered cube, and if I want to play it and have fun with it, go with the proxies, man. Find a way. There's always a way. And if not, just play Pauper, man. Whatever you can get to the table and have fun, that's what we're doing. Like, just have fun. And there's a lot of ways to have fun with Magic. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Magic the Gathering, the board game. Did you ever check that out, Ultimate? The board game that they did that's kind of like HeroScape. Yeah, you look it up on eBay, man. So what HeroScape was you'd have all these crazy terrain pieces, and you would play with like these really random. It's like a dice rolly thing, but Magic the Gathering brought it back. And what you do is you play with Magic cards that are made for it, and you play as a planeswalker, but you can summon little figures and stuff like that. I have it right down here, actually. I'm a big board game guy too. Like I have a huge collection, but I'll pull this out and show you because this is like. Everyone thought this was going to be like the hottest stuff that's ever came out. No, not Vanguard. They thought this stuff was like the hottest stuff that was ever going to come out, and it flopped super hard. So now it's like really, really, really cheap to pick this stuff up. But it's Arena of the Planeswalkers right here. It's like 2 to 5 players. But what's cool is, so there's a couple sets. There's Shadows over Innistrad, but the cards you play with, I think all my cards are in the other ones, summon things. So you can summon like Eldrazi. And you like go around and play with these guys that like mess stuff up. But you play as like the planeswalkers. Like this is Chandra. So like the planeswalkers are like painted and sweet. Yeah, dude, pick it up. $5 is a steal for this, man. I remember like Ob Nixilis, like that's like the guy you play and you summon. So like he might go around and like summon a couple like 2/1 dudes, and you do like. I don't know. You like it's hard to explain, but like watch a video on it because I'll tell you right now, this will be the best $5 that you've ever spent in your life. Because it's just like really fun to play Magic in a different way, but it's also sweet because like I don't know if you're into like older cards. Here, I'll pull out my other box real quick. So you get like it doesn't have the cool terrain tiles. It has a few of them, but these are like the old school ones. I have a huge box of HeroScape over there, so that helps. But you play cards. I haven't even opened some of this stuff, but like Spare from Evil, like they're like old school Magic cards, but you summon, like you have spells that you can play, and then the creatures that you summon have like these really big cards. Like these are core Hookmasters, and then you put the guys out on the field and move them around, so it's a little more tactical. But check it out because you'll be very, very surprised how fun this is. I think there's only 2 sets. The The 2 boxes I showed you, I believe, are like the only thing that's there. But it's just kind of like a goofy little game. And if it's $5, I mean, buy 2 sets, man, and just get it going. Like, just play it. It's fun. But I think we're gonna end it there. Appreciate it, guys. I'm gonna try to do this again in 2 weeks. We're gonna probably try it on another day, like a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, somewhere around there. We're gonna do it there. But hey, man, appreciate it. Everyone coming out. Ultimate, thanks as always, man. If you ever need anything, please just message me and we'll get it hooked up, man. But thanks, guys. We will catch you later.